All right, everybody. Dr. Serrano here from Ignite Chiropractic and Wellness, and I am super excited that you guys are on tonight. Tonight, I have a special person coming on, and it's our doula, Yolanda Corteo, and she's going to answer questions on birthing, if you are a mom or a soon-to-be mom, and you have questions. She's here tonight, and she's going to answer those. So you can either do those live tonight, or you could, if you're watching this after it's live, post the questions. I'm sure she can, I'll either get the questions to her, or she will come on and look at the comments and answer those to you, or directly message you. So all of those will work. But what am I doing? Every Thursday night at 8:15 p.m., I interview a local health expert or somebody in the health field, whether it's spiritual, physical, and or mental, and we just talk health. We talk about natural things, whether it's like tonight, natural birthing or nutrition, or things that help our spiritual life get better connected. Whatever that is, if it has to do with health, I want to bring them on, professionals on, and talk about that. And so without further ado, as people jump on, I want to bring on our good family friend and our doula, Miss Yolanda Corteo. Hey, Yolanda.
Thank you for having me on. Welcome to my home. This is where I teach. You can see my belly from my second child in the background, and I'm glad to have you. I'm so excited. I love birth. I love natural birth and everything about it, and I cannot wait to share all this information with people.
I know. So, Yolanda, before we get started, I want to give people a little bit of background and let them know that we have 4 kids at home. 2 of them we've had naturally at home, and for 2 of those, you were our doula. Like, you helped. You were there.
It was amazing. You guys had the best births, very fast, very fast. Great stories, and it was just the perfect birth. They were both perfect birth. It was just, you could feel the presence of God there, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
It was, and a lot of that, we have to thank you for helping us through that, and we'll talk about all that tonight. But before we get going, I have a little special gift for you. So give me 1 second. I'll have somebody here that wants to say hi, or 2 people here. So look at that. Say hi.
I can't wait to see you guys. I get to see you.
And my wife is here too. So this little one here, you saw him flip out of mama.
Oh, what a birth man, a showman. Ta-da! You were here, man.
I know. All right, guys. I'll say bye. We're gonna get to the interview here. So. All right. So, anyways, so tell us a little bit about yourself. How many years have you been teaching? Why do you love birthing so much? Let's get some background there. So.
Okay, well, I have been married 28 years. It'll be on June the 21st. I can't even believe that, to my amazing husband, Neil. I have 4 kids, had 4 very different births. And I'm originally from New Jersey. My parents are from Puerto Rico, so I speak Spanish. So I have, I bring a lot of things to the table. And I love kids. I love babies. And I have been teaching kids for over 30 years, and adults, and childbirth it'll be 24 years in September. Wow. And attending births. I can't even believe it's gone that fast. I love teaching because I love educating people and letting them know what is happening with their bodies and why they're feeling what they're feeling, and to get rid of fears, because people go into things with fear, and there's nothing to be fearful about it. I want to teach them to trust their bodies. And I love the fact that I get to have them come into my home, and they're comfortable, and you're coming in, you're like family. You become family. I'm Titi. Once you get here, I'm Titi. In my house, you take your shoes off, and you get to ask any question. There's nothing embarrassing, nothing stupid, and we just have a conversation. And I figure out how I need to teach you to understand what's happening.
Yeah, and even being a chiropractor and going through, chiropractic school and being a doctor and all of that, even with all that education, it was so comforting to go there, because your first time as a father supporting your wife, or for my wife at the time, or not at the time, my wife, it was so comforting to be in that environment where you taught us and you walked us through what it was going to be like, what with all the different stages, you answered all the hard questions, and it gave us a lot of confidence going into it. So
I like to make sure I tell people everything that they need to know, that I don't leave anything out. And because I've been so fortunate to teach in different environments, I've taught at hospitals, I've taught at birthing centers, I've taught in people's homes. Most of the time it's my home. I've even taught in a baby store for years. I did that. I get to have all this knowledge that I get to share with them. And questions that, people come to me when they have their second baby and they say, I didn't even know that, because no one told them. So I want to make sure that everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced, the good, the bad, the ugly, that I share so that they can have a great experience.
Absolutely. So 20 plus years, do you know how many couples you've actually taught over that time?
People always ask me, I'm like, I don't know, but I really tried to figure it out. It's like over 1,000. I can't even believe that it's that many people. Like, it's amazing. And the births, I can't even count the births. And each one is different and unique and amazing and a blessing, and it is an honor. I'm grateful that I get to be at people's births. It's life-changing.
That's awesome. 1,000 people. I mean, that is the one thing that you cannot replace. You can't replace that experience. I don't care who it is out there. And when you have somebody, if you're listening, if you're watching this, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, who should I have a doula? Who should I reach out to? None of that matters right now. What I want you guys to know is that, hey, if you have any questions, I know Yolanda's heart. Whether she's your doula or not, if you reach out to her, she will guide you in the best way she can, whether you use her or not as a doula, right? I'm sure. So I don't want people to miss this. At the bottom, that's her website right there. You can go right there, reach out to her if you have any questions as far as birthing goes at all. But why is it important for mom and dad to go through a class? Why is that so important? Why would you say, what would you say to people on that?
It's important because mom and dads need to understand what is happening in her body. Why is she feeling what she's feeling? What is going on, and how can dad help? A lot of times people say to me, my husband was useless at the birth. And it breaks my heart, because who wants to hear that? And what I get to hear from my moms, and what I heard from the first girl whose birth, that's why I did Bradley and started teaching, was that I couldn't have done it without him. And yeah, you can have a baby by yourself, but it is way easier to have a baby with a coach that loves you, cares, is knowledgeable, and can help. Because the reason coaches fail is not because they don't love a mom and they don't want to be there, and it's because they don't know what to do. No one taught them. You don't get behind the wheel of a car and just start driving. You take lessons, right? So why not educate yourself on what is happening in your body, what's going on, why am I feeling what I'm feeling, and how can I help myself, and how can my coach help me? It is it's imperative. I can't even and I do. Birth is my passion. My kids are like, you're always talking about childbirth and breastfeeding and babies. And it is. I talk to anyone. Anybody can call me. I have met people. I used to teach at Babies R Us, and people would come to that one class and they would be in labor and they would call me, and I would think it was hilarious because I just met them once, but I would tell them whatever they needed to know. 24/7. I answer phone calls. I will coach you through, because I love it. It's what I do.
I know. So I know that I have some new moms that are listening or will be watching this later. If you have any questions, please post those in the comments, and we'll get those questions to Yolanda. But can you explain to them, what is a doula? What's the difference between you being a doula and a midwife, and why would you need or use a doula? Can you kind of explain that?
Yes. What we're taught most of the time is that birth is a medical procedure, and it is not. It is an event. You need to trust your body, and your body was made to do this, to have babies. And so what a doula is a professional labor support person. Most of the time is women, and we help you and your coach through the labor process. We help you emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. We work through any things, because sometimes people just think, it hurts a lot, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Yeah, birth hurts, but it's pain with a purpose. And the more it hurts, the more you relax into it. So we teach you how to relax, and we teach you what's happening, what's going on. And we help you to kind of, clear your mind, go through and journal and write any things that you might really be scared of, or past birth experiences that you've carried into this birth. because past experiences you carry into birth, and people don't realize that. And sometimes if they don't deal with them beforehand, they will creep up in labor, and you need to release those and turn them over to God, your higher power, whatever you want to call it. I call it God, and we need to do that. And I teach people how to do that and really work with them as they're doing it.
You mentioned there a little bit ago, you kind of briefly mentioned that you teach the Bradley method, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. Why did you choose that? Why do you teach that? Why do you think, tell us about that.
The Bradley method is an independent method of instruction. And so I don't teach for anyone or anywhere else. And so what it teaches is your coach is a vital part. It's a little longer than most sessions. Most classes are 4 days. I do 9 weeks, and it is learning how to relax physically, mentally, and emotionally. It's no breathing, special breathing. It's normal abdominal breathing. You'll breathe naturally. How to relax, because relaxation is the key. When people are in pain, they tense up, and when you tense up, it makes the labor more painful and harder. And so ideally, I want you to have an unmedicated vaginal birth, but I'm going to teach you how to get around things that may cause you to wind up being medicated or have an unnecessary C-section. And so we give you a lot of information. It's not, this is what you need to know and just do this, this, and that. We give you everything. And if things are slowing down, I'm a really big fan of chiropractic care, and it is so important to get adjusted while you're pregnant, because it's going to align that body and help you. A lot of people don't realize that. They wind up with an unnecessary C-section because they were out of alignment. That is so important. And then after you've had the baby needs to get adjusted, and you need to get adjusted. So all of those things in Bradley, I come together with alternatives and a lot of natural things, oils and positions and all of that stuff, not just, I'm going to go to the hospital and get an epidural. The biggest thing is when people say to me, I'm going to have an unmedicated birth. And I go, that's great. What are you doing? What class are you taking? Nothing. Well, not having a plan is planning to wind up with an epidural. And the problem with an epidural is that can lead to wind up with a C-section, and you get a higher rate of that. And we want to avoid that. We want to avoid very unnecessary medical procedure possible, because your body was made to have babies.
Absolutely. And, one of the things that you said, it was 9 weeks class. And I remember when Jessica was talking to you for when the first time we're gonna use as our doula, I'm like, 9 weeks? What am I going 9 weeks for? I've been through these classes. I know this. I'm a doctor, right? And then I remember going through saying, fine. She wanted to do it, so I said, okay. And I can't tell you how much I got out of the 9 weeks. That's why you're here, because I truly believe that the education is key. And throughout those 9 weeks, yes, you teach people everything there is to know around the birthing process. But by the time you're at the end of those 9 weeks, like, you are so confident in that as a coach, right, as a dad for me, to be able to support my wife through this. And I just remember her confidence going into this or leaving your classes saying, you know what? No, she came in with fear, and by the end of the 9 weeks, like, she was ready to do this. She knew she could do this. And I think that's the biggest thing. The other classes that I've heard patients say, oh yeah, they went to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. They might be good and teach you how to breathe and give you the checkpoints, but there's something that when you go immersive, when you're in somebody's home, when you really get to know the person, know their triggers, know what, like you said earlier, what are things that could be holding them up? And then you're there to coach them through that. And then you're there to walk them through that with their coach and the doula. I think there's something beautiful about that. And there's something that really helps if that person, the goal is to truly have a natural birth. I think it starts to remove a lot of the barriers that might get in the way. So.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, ideally, we want everyone to have a natural vaginal birth, but sometimes it doesn't happen. But I'd much rather see someone with an epidural that was needed for a reason to get to a vaginal birth. Because at the end of the whole experience, what we want is a healthy baby and a healthy mom. That's the most important thing. Yeah. But with classes, with the education, with the training and the practicing, because relaxation, that's a learned response. When you feel pain, the first thing your brain says is, I need drugs, something's wrong, give me something. But we teach you that the more it hurts, the more you relax, the more you give in. And we teach the coach how to help you. I like to call it a bag of tricks, so that you have all this stuff that you can try. And sometimes this one doesn't work, but that's okay. I got 30 other ones that'll work. The biggest thing that I love is that I have people that come to classes because someone, a man, a coach, convinced them to come to classes because he was talking it up so much. And my dads will say to me, I know more about birth than most women that have had babies. And I'm like, you probably do, because it's a lot of information. It is. And I try to present it in a way that everyone can learn it and that it's fun. I want dads, they all come here with that, oh God, how many weeks I got to sit in this lady's house. But the beauty of it, it becomes a little community. Just this week, I had someone post on Facebook a video, and it said, little did I know that out of my childbirth classes, I would make a community, the best mom and dad's group I could ever have. And that's the biggest compliment. That's always been my goal, that at the end of the class, they just didn't go to a class together. Now they have friends they're going to do life with. I have couples that took my very first few classes, and they still get together. Their kids are in college, and they are still friends. That is amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, last few minutes here, what do you want people to take away from this tonight? If people are watching, what would you like them to take away?
I want them to know that they have choices, they have a voice, that fear can be replaced with knowledge, and that they can trust their bodies. I believe that you can do this, and I want you to believe that you can do this too. And your coach is your biggest asset. They helped you. You guys had this baby, made this baby together. You're going to go through this pregnancy together. You're going to birth this baby together, and you're going to have a road ahead, a new season of parenthood together. And I want you to look back on this experience and it be a wonderful experience, not something that you dread. I don't want anyone going into parenthood with a bad birth experience.
Yeah. A couple more questions here. I know you have classes that are coming up, I think, right? When is your next class coming up? So if people want to connect with you.
I have an online series that's going to be starting through Zoom because of the COVID. We had some concerns of health and stuff. And so I just finished the series, and it worked out really well. The couples, had 5 couples, and it was really cool because I had 3 of them that were out of state. One was in Minnesota. I had one up in Indiana, and one was in Orlando, out of where I'm at. But that was really cool that I was able to reach those people. And so I have a class coming up this month. Yeah, because we're in June. This month, starting doing Zoom. And then I have an in-person class at my house starting in August.
Awesome. And they can find all that at yolandacorteo.com, correct?
And they
Yolanda, I want you to see this comment here. Still friends with a few classmates over 6 years later. Don't forget how hilarious Yolanda is. Cassidy man. So these are comments coming in from Facebook. So if you're listening, if you have any questions, put those in there, please. I'm sure we can answer those tonight, or in the future here. If you're now watching this live, put your questions or comments in there. Yolanda will reach out. She'll answer any questions you have. Anything else you want to chat with people or let them know about the classes? You said there's people out of town, so they can take your class and you literally not be there for their birth, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Some people will have me at their birth, and some people don't. It just depends what they're comfortable with. Sometimes they want it to be a private event, just them and their husband or the coach. And sometimes the coach wants that extra help. So I have people that come to the house and take classes here and ask me to be at their birth, and so I'm their doula. I have people that come to the classes, and once you step into my home and you become part of my family, you have access to me 24/7. I call, text. I have people whose kids are going off to college, and they'll call me about questions. And so I am part of your life forever with you. Okay? But I'm going to be Zooming classes. So if I have people that are out of state, if you have a cousin or a niece or someone and they need classes, they can Zoom in and they can still get the class experience in with my regular classes. It's really cool. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what I want people to do right now is, if you're on here, if you have a friend or a family member or somebody that's potentially thinking about having a baby or is going to have a baby, they're pregnant right now, please share this with them, tag them on this so that they can see this conversation and know that, hey, they don't have to have Yolanda there as a doula if they don't want to, but they can. And also, hey, they can use her as a resource for the classes. Yep. Whether they're here or not. It doesn't matter where they are, because I didn't even know you were doing the Zoom stuff now. But if you are here local, she does have local classes, which I think are awesome. So get in touch with you through yolandacorteo.com. Any last things you want to say before we jump off of this? And
thank you very much. I look forward to meeting some new couples and educating people. And I'm really excited about my website. I'm just launching it. It's just done, and tonight's the first night it's out there. So it's beautiful.
It's awesome. I went on there. It is beautiful, and I think it
my oldest.
and it represents you well in all you do. So thank you for being there for us and in our birth. Thank you for supporting us through that. I just can't tell you how cool it was to do that at home, to be able to support my wife through that journey and that process, naturally knowing, with the tools that you gave me as a coach, and to see those two beautiful babies at home. Like, it is such a cool thing to do that.
And thank you for having me there, because it is an honor, and each birth is just a joy, and you can feel God's presence. It's amazing. Birth is amazing. It's feared. It's something to be cherished. It's a gift.
That's it. So thank you guys. Bless you guys. Thank you, Yolanda, for being on here. And then if you have any questions or comments, put those in there, and we will get to those either tonight or, but I'm sure sometime tomorrow we'll get to those. So thank you. Have a good night. Bye. See ya.